Okay, so the most basic operators are just plus, just addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Addition adds two numbers together. For example, 2 plus 2, that's 4. You see here? Subtraction subtracts two numbers from each other, so for example, 3 minus 1 is 3, subtract 1, that's 2. Now it prints 4 and 2 because I didn't remove the first print statement, but yeah. Multiplication multiplies two numbers, so 3 times 3, that's just 3 times, so 9. Yeah. And division divides two numbers. So 4 divided by 2, that becomes 2. Also, sometimes in division it accidentally becomes a float. I think the way you can avoid that is just by writing it as an integer when it is 0.0. If you don't want that, you can specify that it's supposed to be an integer and not a float, as you can see here. So the two other a bit more special values are these symbols. So the first one is floor division. So I'm just going to do normal division as an example. So let's say you have 10 divided by 3, and you run this code, you see it becomes 3.3333, whatever. But if you don't want all these decimal numbers, you could add two division signs, and it becomes a floor division, and it doesn't give you the decimal numbers, as you can see here. Now, this means that there is some remainder that's not accounted for. So in this case, the remainder is 1, and the way to find the remainder is to use the percentage sign. So as you can see in here, this gives you the remainder of the floor division, which is 1. Because when you floor divide something, there's a remainder, and in this case the remainder is 1. The double multiplication sign is an exponent, so it raises 10 to the power of 3, which is like saying you take 10 times itself 3 times, so 10 times 10 times 10. As you can see, that's 1,000. And yeah, those are so another operator are conditional operators. I think they were called that. And these basically show either true or false. So for example, let's set two variables, x equals 3, y equals 3. So this first one, it checks this symbol here, the two equal signs. It checks whether x is equal to y, and x is equal to y, so it will return true. This one checks if x is not equal to y and x is equal to y, so that will return false. If we changed x to something else, for example 4, then x is not equal to y, so that would return true. Now this symbol here, you can think of it like a crocodile mouth. It wants to eat the biggest value. So this checks if x is greater than y, and x is 4, y is 3, so that is true. As you can see here, this other one, it checks if y is greater than x or if x is less than y, which is false because x is larger than y. And if you add an equal sign here, it checks if x is greater or equal to y. So x is 4, y is 3, so it is greater. X could also be 3, and then they're equal, so that is also true. But if x is smaller than y, then it's false. And then there's the other one, which is just reverse that. It checks if x is less or equal to y. So if the two are the same, it's true. If x is less, it's true. But if x is larger, then it's false. So the last one we're going to look at they have to do with the variables. So let's just set some variables. So this first one that we can do is this equal sign. You see, we used this already. This just sets the variable to, this takes the variable here and sets it to the value on the right side. So if I, for example, took x equals y and then printed x, y is 4, and if I set x to y, then x will also be 4. And if I run this, yeah, you see here 4. Now I can also use all the other operators that we already covered. So for example, I could add x to y, so that will be like 3 plus 4, which is 7, and the value will be set on the first variable, so x will now be 7. Yeah, I don't know what that error was. I can also subtract. Now x equals 3, y equals 4, so 3 minus 4, that is -1, and the value will be set on x, so that will be -1. Yeah. I can do all these things. I can multiply all the things that I already covered. You can do that with variables following these rules. Yeah. So that is pretty much everything that has to do with operators.